Arguments are underway right now in former President Trump's new criminal trial. Politico is reporting that once the verdict is in, President Biden will jump into the pool and actually break his silence on the case, and that he will do so from the White House rather than from a campaign stump. Now, remember, right when we got this hour started, I was talking about how he would want to, I would imagine, avoid the appearance of a political statement. And so he'll do this from the White House, but it's political what's going on. So I don't know. Hat Jack, anybody? Does that even come into play? Fox News contributor Charlie Hurt doesn't buy any of this. Watch.
Look at all of the big major issues that Americans actually care about that took Joe Biden a long time to address. It took him a long time to address the attack in Israel, the terrorist attack in Israel. It has taken him forever to address the crisis at the border, and I would argue he still has never actually addressed it. But even before the verdict is read, he's announcing that he's going to address this issue. It's because this is the issue that Joe Biden is running on. I think it's going to fail. I think the whole thing is blown up in his face.
Well, Donald Trump's trial is wrapping up, and the president's son, Hunter Biden, will face 2 trials during the campaign on gun and tax charges. The president paid a surprise visit over the weekend to a key witness in Hunter Biden's gun trial. His former girlfriend, Hallie Biden, the widow of Hunter's brother, Beau. All of this, as Politico is reporting, Democrats are, and this is a quote, in full-blown freakout over Biden's re-election chances. Peter Doocy at the White House. Peter, to witness the freakout.
We're always looking for a freakout, Harris. But despite all of that going on, the Biden campaign, they're not talking about the economy. They're not talking about immigration. They're not even in a swing state. They are talking about democracy in New York City.
We're here primarily because of the threat that Donald Trump poses to the United States of America and to our democracy.
The president is now expected to address the Trump verdict, guilty or not guilty, from the White House to show the end result is just part of a normal judicial proceeding that should be respected. That is according to a report in Politico that we hope Karine can flesh out at today's briefing. In the meantime, we are getting a better sense of how the Biden campaign plans to keep attacking Trump pre-verdict. They are invoking 9/11 and January 6th, and they're warning that if Trump gets elected, he might never leave the White House again. And the messenger for that, Robert De Niro.
This buffoon running for president, no, never could happen. We'd forgotten the lessons of history that showed us other clowns who weren't taken seriously until they became vicious dictators. With Trump, we have a second chance. And no one is laughing now.
President Biden doesn't have any public events on his schedule today, but the next couple times that we see him, we expect that to be the theme. He's going to keep talking, including when he's at Normandy in France next week for the D-Day anniversary. He's going to keep talking about how he is a defender of democracy with the suggestion that Donald Trump is not. Harris.
You should go to Israel. I mean, he should be in the middle of the action that his policies are colliding with here on the homeland with all those people who have the signs Genocide Joe. I mean, then he could have an actual purge. Peter Doocy, thank you very much.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.